I could pull a better podcast out of my head. Hey, kids, welcome to the Tempest Universe.
China.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
It's China to me, China.
Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside.
China.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
Oh, geez. I am so out of it. I don't know if you can tell just from my voice that I've captured a bug from Florida. I brought, and not the four-legged bug that's a UFO hunter. Like something just came up with me from Florida. I've just been completely under the weather for damn near since I came back to Texas. And congested, sneezing, coughing, maybe a little bit of fever too, or just sweat from whatever this is. It's just taken over, man. Like yesterday, I couldn't even speak. You know, my throat was burning, itchy. I just don't know. I don't know. I actually got an opportunity to take the old motorcycle out to get some new tires. But man, as soon as I got into the garage, it was just nonstop sneezing and coughing. I'm surprised those guys didn't kick me out and have me put in my order for tires from 2 blocks away. It's just nasty. I'm alien. I'm totally alien right now. Every bit of me. Nothing is as it should be. But we got some articles to talk about today. You know, why not? We got a favorite buddy. Yeah, I'm sure you can see from the image for this particular episode who I'm going to talk about. There is something about Nick Pope. Listen, I went through about a year of people just, the Popettes were out. And, they kept on starting some shit with me, especially on YouTube, because I didn't speak highly of the Nick of the Pope. And honestly, I was hoping that he would show up in Edinburgh, but he's not going to be there this year, apparently. There's other folks there. But Nick Pope, right now, is turning into the pareidolia Pete of ufology. He's becoming the other Scott C. Waring, if you will. I'm being honest with you. Like, he is like article after article after article every week. And it's just about shit that you're like... Why? Why do we need it? Why do we need to hear about this, Nick Pope? But we don't know. We also had a prior guest who is making the rounds right now. He's out there in the news. Now, I can't remember if this was towards the end of UFO Buster Radio or the first year of the Tempest Universe, where we had Ryushin Malone. He was on here. And I remember that interview because there was at one point, it sounded like he was, I don't know, like, I wouldn't say determined. I feel like the conspiracy was building up in him in such a way that, it was bringing out emotions from him. Like he was really into what he was telling us on that particular interview. And I remember, the guys, as Guardians, were in there in the live chat just going to town trying to figure out what is up with him. And I think Ryushin at one point in the interview just walked outside. He just had to get some fresh air. But, again, there's another individual whose perception of what ufology is and what the experiencer perspective is, it's a lot different than other people. It really is. Almost completely unique. Kind of like when you have cat ladies, and 17. But is it all the same thing? I don't know. Then we'll talk about another article which is going to take us to Greece. Almost. Not there. I mean, I don't even know how long it takes them to get to Greece, but they were cutting through the Bermuda Triangle when shit went down. And here, that's another thing we don't hear about too much anymore. Not too many stories out of the Bermuda Triangle, but man, back in the day, that was the thing. Remember, there was even a movie. I don't know, like the 80s or the 70s. There was like a movie about the Bermuda Triangle. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that as we crawl through this episode. My throat's hurting right now. And I'm fighting the clog, that the post-nasal drip. It's disgusting, let me tell you. Like, I've even got the vodka here, and it's not helping, not one bit. Let me see who's on the live chat right now. We got the Nom. We got Green Man. And so far, so good. I know we might have a bit of a meetup down in Edinburgh. Unfortunately, I do have to have a job. So I don't think I'll be able to I'll make it on the last day. It seems like it'll be a Saturday when the actual conference is happening. The days before, like open mic. And that's Thursday. And I think Friday is the festival where, they have little cool things for people to enjoy. And I'm not going to enjoy none of that shit. I'm going right for the conference. And I probably just end up walking out, really. Like I said before, I know Chris O'Brien is there. I've listened to Chris O'Brien for some time, especially during the years of UFO Buster Radio. So, maybe we can trap him somewhere, get a quick interview. I'm trying to get, I'll try to find out and maybe later convince Ronnie Dawson to stick around. I know he'll be there for open mic on Thursday, so maybe he'll stick around till Saturday. And we'll just have a good old time with old Ronnie Dawson. But until then, let me just say this. It's time to get to the music. I didn't change the music. I was too under the weather to change the music, but ufology stops for no man, alien or dog or cat or Will Smith's. Check this out.
Yeah. Nobody can match you. Donye for life. Sexy mind and body. You already got me now. Loving you madly. Girl, you might be matching your body. She no even trying, she got it. I be here beside you, anything I got you. You no play. All you do is shut down the runway. Looking dangerous like a gunplay. They all wanna grab you, on you like a tattoo. Hey, don't you fall like you don't even try to. Nobody can match you. Don't you fall like sexy mind and body. You already got me now. Hey, you know like get it. Hey, you know like get it. Body moving, get it. She can do it, get it. Ooh, you're so wild tonight. Waist beats are in motion round our body. When you do it slowly, you take me for a ride, yeah. I go see you through together, baby. You scatter the streets, your vibe is so divine. Don't you fall like you no even try to. Nobody can match you. Don't you fall like sexy mind and body. You already got me now. Hey, you know like get it. Hey, you know like get it. Body moving, get it. She can do it, get it. Ooh, yeah.
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the money?
Fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and
It's really strange to look at this article because Nick Pope in this article, and let me just give you the title of the article, right? It's Alien First Contact could destroy religion and spark global chaos, even if they come in peace, warns ex-MOD investigator. For a guy who didn't find anything, he sure has a lot of insight. That's what gets me about Nick Pope. I mean, he has more insight than I do, believe it or not, I guess. He really just needs to be abducted and probed. That way he could really get the insight he needs when he makes these comments. Now, listen, this is what I got to say about that. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah. Yeah. Not everyone is going to be happy with, an alien invasion. Even if it's not an alien invasion. What if they just show up just to say hello? Hey, this is, Mevop and Bebo, and we're here from 5.6 billion light years away. Yes, we have 17, but we come in peace. Don't be threatened. I get it. People all over the world will not be happy. Countries, governments, religions, everyone's going to be up in chaos. We saw what happened with COVID-19. We saw the Shittergate. Like, people are running for toilet paper when there was no indication that the toilet paper was going to stop you from having problems. Now, I'm sure they figured that there could be something far worse than a cough and a runny nose, like, a dirty ass. And maybe that's why Shittergate happened, because they knew stuff's going to run out. But you would think it would find more appropriate things, like, over-the-counter meds, possibly, I don't know, lots of milk. I don't know, water, kind of like when you get a hurricane. But no, the toilet paper was the thing for people. So they went into a panic. They lost their damn mind during Shittergate. And so now Nick is saying, hey, listen, even if they come in peace, we're going to have some problems. It's going to be global. There could be global chaos with first contact. Because we don't know what the hell we're doing. There's a quote here from what he told the Sun online. He says, if there is a response to something relatively known, we've had pandemics before, what would be the response if something truly new and different happened? Mr. Popette said. Let's be honest. There is no way of predicting that. But if we look at the simple things that we've already had, like a virus, I'm sure that a whole lot more people are going to lose their shit about it. There's no doubt about that situation whatsoever. There's other things that Nick Pope talked about in this particular article. And one is that, religion is going to maybe take a kick in the nuts. Our belief systems are going to be challenged if we meet a space civilization. And what if they want to come down here and convert us to a different faith? What if they just want to, have us like cattle? I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs. And, my problem is that, number one, he's all over the place. He's literally going for every possible explanation for UFOs or UAPs and human beings and how they're going to interact with each other and how the world will end because we will lose everything. Our dignity, our religion, our beliefs, everything that holds us grounded. And I mean, we're not grounded everywhere, that's for sure. He says that what we will experience is the largest culture shock in every aspect of our lives when this happens, even if they, came down to shake our hands, share technology. And then, of course, there's the technology part, right? Because, Nick Pope recognizes that some governments are shitty. And they will do everything they can to exploit alien technology in order to either conquer the rest of the planet or, launch an even newer space race. I mean, we have a space race right now, right? It's a commercial space race. It's not I wouldn't say completely led by folks like NASA and the EU space agency. But these corporate types, they've got their own space race. But what happens when alien technology falls into the hands of governments? Then what? Then who's going to lead the space race? I don't know. Listen, after what we've just seen through this pandemic, yeah, you could definitely believe that if our little virus send the whole world into a shitstorm for 2 years, it is guaranteed that when Mebop and Bebop show up, the world will not be the same for decades. I'm telling you, Shittergate will be a happy memory when that happens. I mean, we're just going to go back and start having flashbacks of a better time when humanity was under attack by an unknown force, But this is what he says. This is what he wants people to know. And again, coming from a guy that has had zero UFO experiences, while sitting at the MOD, he found nothing, though, he goes to UFO conferences and gives speeches. I mean, I don't know how this works, to be honest. I don't know how they put this stuff together. But anyway, the rest of the article is in there for you if you guys want to check it out. I mean, Nick Pope is Nick Pope. But I just don't know. I don't get him in many ways. I understand his history in that broom closet 10 floors under the MOD, trying to look at UFO reports for which the government itself in the UK completely denies and still denies to this day, even though all this shit's come out from the United States government and other governments, right, that have put out their reports, their research. But the UK stands strong, and so does Nick Pope, unfortunately. But we'll see what else he comes out with. Go ahead, if you want to read this article and kind of freshen up on the madness that you're going to live when disclosure really happens in the form of an alien appearance. I mean, be ready. Get ready. Take your garage, fill it with toilet paper, fill it with nonsense and things that you normally would not buy, because that's what's going to be out of the stores, I guarantee you. Just be honest about that. Check out this track as we check out here and I try to go blow my nose. Gray Man has confirmed that our guest, Ryushin Malone, our prior guest, actually showed up during the UFO Buster Radio days. Fantastic. So this article, and it's all over the place. Let me just add that. UFO researcher says he encountered flesh-eating aliens. Oh my God. Oh my word. I mean, it's bad enough that they look like little gray people with big eyeballs, no emotion, no genitals. I mean, it's bad enough that you show up to our planet looking like a gigantic lizard that wants to eat every piece of flesh from your body. Or did you show up looking like Thor? But flesh-eating aliens is horrific. Now, when we talk to Ryushin, and actually, I think he's even on the Discord for the Tempest Universe. He might still be on there. But, you know, when we talked to him, he was a little distressed, right? He really wanted to get his message out. And it's interesting when folks believe a particular fact about alien contact or being an experiencer that no one can corroborate in any shape whatsoever. Like, you have people who talk about interdimensional contact. You know, they'll have aliens coming out of walls, coming out of portals, orbs, you know, and stuff like that. But they become really common among folks. But flesh-eating aliens, that's a problem. I mean, shit. If you're going to lose your religion, this is it. If you're going to lose your shit about alien contact, this is the type that is going to change the game, to be honest. Just be honest, completely. Ryushin says he was sitting there, wherever there is, and he felt a touch underneath his chin, and it lifted his head. By the way, I can only talk like this when I'm not feeling well. I looked down, and I could see a translucent being in front of me with big eyes. A small, maybe 3 foot tall creature that I could see through. And another creature stepped around from the side of it with an iron rod. I can't. Ryushin, an iron rod, really. Alien technology, man, it's crazy. And put it up against my neck. Then that creature disappeared, Malone told the Daily Star. He later continued to say the creature then lowered my head down and then stepped back and disappeared. After that, I was like, oh my God, they're real. They're here. I don't know. He wasn't so cool, calm, and collected when he was on the podcast. There was one point where he was like totally frantic about what he was telling us. And he did share pictures at the time, and I could not, and I'm not the only one, we could not make heads or tails of what he was seeing. It just made no sense. And now that they're flesh eating, you know, the whole thing just, it blows my mind. But Ryushin is making the rounds. He's getting his story out there. And now he's not only a ufologist, a researcher, but now he's a conspiracy theorist as well. Welcome to the club. Tons of people in that neck of the woods for you, buddy. Out of Maine. And he says, to add insult to injury, that these flesh-eating aliens that are translucent are here to harvest adrenaline from humans. And so what they do is they torture them, and then they siphon the adrenaline from them. I mean, I almost feel like we need to get him back here for clarification. It's what we need to do. We need to get Ryushin back here. You know, again, another theory. You know, and just like, you know, aliens eat babies. And, you know, they saute their brains in some onion and mushrooms just to get a good taste for it. I don't know. Like I said, alien abduction theories and experiencers, they vary so much. And it's a reason why ufology is kind of seen as a joke. Now, there's a lot of people gravitating to UFOs and UAPs, you know, thanks to certain releases. But those releases are all lackluster. They're there for the initial, shock and awe, and then you get nothing. You're back at square one. And as much as people want to believe that they've received the holy grail of disclosure in what things like the government has certified as actual UAPs, information taken from the government, the fact is that all of this seems like it's going to subside, or they're going to continue to control the narrative of UFO and ufology lore for another few decades. And we will get just little tiny morsels. We really just need, as they say, the alien on the White House lawn. That White House could be either the official government White House, or it could be your house if it's white. There was something that Jennifer Stein said back in the UFO Buster Radio days that still rings true. When we were talking about the documentary that she was working on, and that is that it's going to take a regular person to blow this out of the water. It's got to be a grassroots type of thing. Government is not going to give you. If we go down the government route, we will always have folks like Ryushin Malone giving us some of the scariest stories when it comes to aliens, and them being right here, sucking on our adrenaline. And those are the ones we're going to continue to rely on, because the government is still not going to give us very much of anything. Redacted reports are not going to help us. We've been through that for ages. We need more. We need the real deal. The real McCoy. Whatever that is. Hopefully it's not an orb. I really dislike orbs. I do so much. And what can you do? It is what it is. You guys, you continue to search. Eventually someone's going to catch an alien. I'm sure of it. They'll find some way. Someone's going to set up a trap and catch one of those little fuckers. Anyway, if you want to read more about Ryushin, you're shit out of luck. There's not much more that he said other than that. You could go back to the UFO Buster Radio archives and find the interview with Ryushin. That way you see. You see what I'm talking about. He's I don't know if he was scared or he was just confused or what, but apparently he's getting his story together and upgraded it to flesh-eating aliens. So, fantastic. We can roll with that. Check this out.
all men and women created by go. You know the thing.
You know, a lot of people have told me in the past that they have this fascination with the Bermuda Triangle. There's a story that's linked in the description about a Greek merchant mariner who recalled an incident at the Bermuda Triangle, a UFO sighting. So you say, so what? Nobody cares about that. It was from 1978. The craft that he's describing may come close to what some people might say is a tic-tackety ship out in the middle of nowhere. Now, the Bermuda Triangle over the years, especially back then, I really don't hear. I feel like the Bermuda Triangle has kind of quieted down over the last 2-3 decades. Like nobody has a fear of it anymore, I guess, right? We have all these movies about the damn Bermuda Triangle, but nothing happening right now. The article is pretty cool because it'll give you a little bit of history about stuff that's been weird out in the Bermuda Triangle. So check it out. But one of the things that it talked about was the disappearance of 12 Navy crew members that were on a seaplane patrolling during World War II on July 10th, 1945. They were flying from the south of the Bahamas and heading into Florida and then gone. Just like that. Never found the plane, never found the people. Now, this individual that this article is about is Polycarp Spenza. I don't speak Greek. Anyway, so Polycarp, he was out there. He was a member of this crew, and he was a merchant mariner. Now, in 1978, he was, doing his normal thing. They were on the way out. They were actually leaving from Puerto Matanzas, Cuba. They got themselves some cigars, I bet, back then. I'm sure they had pretty good cigars even then. And headed for Algiers. Now, their average speed at the time was 11 miles. I guess that's per hour. Usually don't find like nautical speeds in miles per hour, but that's the way it is here. Shortly before noon local time, the officer on the ship began to notice what appeared to be a ship. Their ship actually was sailing extremely high speed, much more than what they're used to, and much faster than what their instruments were showing. Because they had the ship, set for 10 to 11 nautical miles per hour, but from what they can tell, from their experience, it was moving a whole lot faster than that. But they couldn't figure out why the activity of the ship looked a whole lot different than the instrumentation. Some of the colleagues initially were somewhat hypnotized in the way that things looked so different. That the crew members were experiencing a lot of weird time shift oddities. Like things were moving a whole lot faster around them than what they can comprehend at the time. Hell, we couldn't comprehend it now, so it's no different. Polycarp, around noon, continued on this weird experience, and he finally, the captain at that point had asked the second officer to put what a Pakistani sailor at the wheel because he didn't feel well. He could not lift his arms. His body felt extremely heavy. Soon later, one of the ship's electricians arrived to the bridge after coming up from the engine room, and he was upset that he noticed that all of the clocks on the boat had gone ahead by 2 whole hours. It's a lot of strange shit happening in the Bermuda Triangle for these guys. Additionally, the helmsman was unable to hold a steady course for some reason because the compass, which was a gyroscope shielded from EMF, was turning like crazy. So initially what they did, because they couldn't manage navigating the ship themselves. They put it on autopilot in order to try to manage a steady course. So there's a lot of weird things happening as these guys were headed into the Bermuda Triangle back in 1978. Polycarp, who is mentioned in the article as a seasoned merchant mariner, he says that one of the strangest things about that trip was something that happened a little bit after 5 p.m. He says himself and the cook were playing a game of backgammon in the smoking room when suddenly they looked back and saw something to the left of the ship on the northwest side, just a few miles away. They described this UFO as a large, white, unidentified flying object in the sky. But after that large white object appeared, there were two other smaller flying objects to the west of the large one, and one of them seemed to have been attached to the large one. They assumed, these guys from Greece, that this was an experiment of the Americans. Americans gotta be always fucking around with somebody. But still, was it an American experiment? Nobody knows, right? We don't know at this point. But he does seem to describe one of the reports for the Tic Tac incident, right? There was that one large ship that was apparently under the water, just below it, and the Tic Tacs were apparently going up and down from it. It's almost like the same thing, isn't it? I mean, back then in 78, I don't think they had Tic Tacs, so he wouldn't be able to describe it that way. One of the things that happened to them during this time is that they could not figure out this strange... it's almost like they were out of sync with time for about 2 hours. In fact, the men tried to tune into some radios that would give them radio channels, certain frequencies, that would actually give them the time and date and so forth in Morse code. What Polycarp reported was that he wasn't able to enter Morse code, and along with that, he wasn't able to match up the time either. Towards the end of the trip, what Polycarp reported was that there was all of the crew members experienced an abnormally slow heartbeat. They also had hypothermia during that trip. So no one knows. As far as we could tell, there was a 2-hour gap in there where they were completely out of sync with time, and they would see that. Like the ship was moving way faster than what it was supposed to, but they couldn't prove it from any of the instruments on the ship. Hold on one second. My throat is so super dry right now. It's a really crazy story. The reason why I bring this story up, because again, we have UFOs that are being described in modern ways from 1978. This is not a new story, and this is what bugs me about this UAP report. Literally, we have decades and decades of UFO sightings reported by normal, everyday people who are well experienced in what they do, that's being completely ignored and discounted. Yes, I get it's important to have reports from those people that you train, those people in the military that go through these things, because you have a record of their experience. You know what they've been through, what their personal situation is, and you can look into that. But there are so many reports and sightings and experiences that are being ignored historically, and I don't think it's an accident at all. I think it's done on purpose, and it's to continue the conversation of the UAP or UFO. There's more about the story about what Polycarp and the rest of the crew on that Greek ship experienced. Check it out. It's a pretty cool story. We're going to take one more musical break, I believe. I think I've got this right. Check this out.
my mind, you're still there. When nights turn cold and blue, how will I live without you? How will I count the days since you've been gone. Somehow, some way, life goes on. I can't believe it. I took the good with the bad. You're still the best I ever had. I spend my days in the past. What could I have done to make it last? The sleepless nights bring dreams of you. How do you do the things you do? I count the days since you've been gone. Somehow, some way, life goes on. I took the good with the bad. You're still the best I ever
I just realized we're just dealing with the fringe of ufologies on this episode. The next episode, no article, for fuck's sake. People hate when I say the F word, but it's okay. The next one is about Dr. David Jacobs, professor of history at Temple University in Pennsylvania. He says aliens are abducting humans and living on Earth before the big invasion. I've heard this before. I don't know even if maybe Ryu Shin had the same idea. Yeah, so that's what he says. Now, he specializes in ufology. How do you specialize in a pseudoscience that barely exists? Yeah, so that's what he specializes in, ufology, and he claims that he gathered testimony from people who allege they've been abducted by aliens, but these aliens are giving them their secret plan, the secret sauce for how things are going to go down. Isn't that crazy? He's written a bunch of books about alien abductions, and from those testimonies, he's gathered the following situation. I don't know. Listen, what can you do, right? Now, if you have the, I guess it's a cable channel called Blaze. Revelations during UFO week is happening on Blaze, and he's in a documentary called Extraordinary, the Revelations. So Dr. Jacobs is going to talk to you about that, but here's a little bit excerpt of what he says, right? He says, we have spread around the world and conquered as much as we can. We don't know whether this is true of other beings or not, but it certainly is true of what humans have done. All right. So he's giving us a basis there about what aliens could be doing. He says his best guess, and this is a guess, is that, yeah, they are doing the same thing. Also, one of the great plots in movies as well, right? Alien race fucks up their own planet, so they go to another planet, take it over, and sometimes they body snatch. Sometimes they turn into bugs that go in your nose and just take over, become part of you, like a symbiote. The professor wants to claim that he's spoken to multiple abductees that have had these experiences with these aliens, these conquerors, and that they've told them, these abductees, that they have a job to do. They have something that they're to complete as part of their aid to the alien conquerors, I guess. He says that many of the abductees said that they recall being told the same instruction about crowd control. Now we got problems. He says when they get older, they will be required to stand on the corner of a street. There will be a significant number of people running down the street, and the job of each abductee is to keep the people moving. Letting people know that everything will be okay. Listen, that's not a good job. If there's a shitload of people running your way, you either better run or move out the way. I don't think any human being should stand in a street corner when a stampede of people are coming. They're dead. They're history. They're just not going to survive. Why this is a recurring thing for these abductees, it makes no sense. He says that what they're describing was that the ones on board, and this is the people on the spaceship, that they're the ones on board look really, really human, and we're coming down, but they're down here to try to learn how to be human. This is a description that was given to these abductees, which they in turn provided to Dr. Jacobs, letting them know that on these ships there are hybrids. But they're human-looking hybrids. And they're coming here in order to learn our society, our rules, to make the takeover nice and easy. That way they can control us. And we cannot control them. Some of the people that were abducted likened to these super close alien human-like creatures as almost like superhumans. Again, it sounds like out of a script out of a movie. I mean, I don't understand. Between him and Ryoshin, I don't know who's going to win. Like, how could there be so many different kinds of aliens trying to take over our planet and come in all kinds of shapes and dimensions, but yet we're still here? Nothing's happened. I mean, at least, hell, I don't know. Maybe something happened to you. If you're listening, you've been part of this conspiracy, or you've been taken away, into a secret space program for like 20 years and came back and everything got flushed from your mind. And then suddenly they gave you the okay to remember. Let us know. Hit us up. Send me a message. Let me know your story, because at this point, ufology apparently is taking a turn for the worst. Flesh-eating aliens, alien abductions, hybrids, aliens unhappy with the war in Ukraine. I don't get it. But this is the weird episode for this week. So you pick your poison. What's it going to be? Is it going to be chaos? Is it going to be controlled alien abduction, take over of our planet? Or are they going to eat our flesh? Pick your poison. What's your ufology? Me, I think it's going to be business as usual for a few more decades. And we'll be just here spinning our gray matter, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Meanwhile, tons of people sending in pictures, videos. They'll get better over the next few years. But at the end of the day, disclosure is just a long time away for us. Many of us won't even make it for it to really happen. And at the end of the day, it might just be an amoeba. A singing amoeba on Mars. I thank you guys for joining. It's been a crazy kind of day when it comes to these UFO nonsense. But we'll make sense of it once we're dead and gone, to be honest. Stop screwing around. Don't buy that bullshit that we have an answer. We don't. Ciao.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much, and now you don't feel the way you felt when we were younger. But that's okay for me, 'cause I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 I don't give a damn.
Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living.